actually got Monster Mike when I was doing MMA fighting. Fishing definitely helped me in my life, you know. I've been through a lot of, you know, like I said, ups and downs.
Let me cut the camera. What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Angler Spotlight. Today is a special day because we're actually going to interview Monster Mike, and we're doing it on the Monster Mike channel, so you guys can actually kind of get to know who this man really is and what makes him special. Without any further ado, let's get him to introduce himself. All right, man, since nobody knows who you are on this channel, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey guys, my name is Monster Mike.
For the people who don't know, tell them how you got your name Monster Mike, because I don't really think it's from the size of fish that you catch.
Well, I didn't get the name, you know, from fishing. I actually got Monster Mike when I was doing MMA fighting. I was once, you know, a cage fighter. I made it to pro, so I did a little MMA, and that's actually how I met Brian. Brian, the CEO. We were at this backyard fight, you know, with Kimbo Slice, Dada 5000, and Brian, you know, at the time was just filming the whole backyard fighting, and that's how I actually met Brian.
So yeah, when I first met Mike, we didn't even have fishing on our minds. You know, I mean, he was a fisherman, but I wasn't even thinking about filming fishing or doing fishing YouTube channels or anything like that.
You know, I loved MMA, you know, I was always an athlete, you know, and it made me who I am today. But I needed something else to like make more money, because I wasn't, you know, really making enough money in the fighting world, you know, to make a steady living. So I had to really put that on hold. So I got a job at a warehouse in my dad's company, and you know, so I was, you know, making money pushing a broom.
Through your childhood, through the MMA times, through working in the warehouse, the one constant that you had was fishing. You know, what is it about fishing that is so special to you?
Well, I fell in love with fishing ever since my dad started me off when I was 3 years old, you know. Right in our backyard we had, you know, beautiful peacock bass, and he started me off young catching fish, you know. So ever since 3 years old, fishing was always in my blood. It was my #1 hobby. It was kind of like the first thing I learned when I was young. So I just fell in love with it since, and you know, so I just fished all my life, you know, throughout the good times and bad times, no matter what I was doing. I love fishing, you know, forever.
So what you're saying is, for yourself and many others, including myself, fishing is almost like therapy. You know, I know I use it, and I can go and get away from all of my problems and everything. Has it helped you in that way as well?
Oh yeah, man. Fishing definitely helped me in my life, you know. I've been through a lot of, you know, like I said, ups and downs. So it's just when I'm fishing, at that moment, all the bad is just out of my head, and it's like, you know, it helped me just stay focused. You know, the fishing, it was the bond that me and my dad had. So that's what we stuck with, you know, fishing throughout my whole life. You know, he raised me, and I have 3 other sisters. So, and he was doing it all by himself, you know, as a single dad. You know, it wasn't easy for him. It was one of the hardest, you know, but yeah.
That's good, man. It's like there's other people out there that can relate to this, you know, because it's not just a sport for a lot of us. You know, we all use this as a getaway from dare I say, real life sometimes, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes just being out there on the water allows us to just, everything gets washed away like the waves, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel you, man.
Yeah, we
got me crying here behind the camera.
We stayed strong throughout the whole process, and yeah, my dad raised us, and miss her a lot. I know she's looking down at me too.
Yeah, part of your success, man. Made you strong. That's why you don't listen to other people. Let me cut the camera.
You don't have to. But yeah, so throughout that moment, you know, fishing was one thing that me and my dad, you know, just kept doing, and fishing was always in my blood, and that's why I love it. It's just a way of, you know, it's like therapeutic in a way. You go out there, you fish, all the problems are, you know, away for that moment. You're catching a fish. I just love it. Fishing in general is just in my blood. You know, when you're setting the hook and you just feel the fight, and you know, when you're rewarded holding a beautiful fish in your hand, you know, yeah, it's, you know, before all the social media and posting it and stuff, I really fished, like artificial fish and everything, you know, like just fishing is in my blood in general. Like, I just love it, you know, love it. Nothing can make me not fish anymore. That's for sure.
All right, man.
Yep.
Yeah, I felt that. But let's try and move on from this point. Obviously, and that's why peacock bass are so special to you. But if you had to pick a close second, what is your favorite fish to target?
Definitely the largemouth bass, because that was actually the species that I was catching while I was catching peacock bass. I loved using the soft plastic worms. You know, I was always that worm guy. Oh, got a largemouth. And back then I used to catch big largemouth bass out in the like Everglades. You know, me and my dad used to go out in the like where there's no service, and the only fish is over there is largemouth bass, no peacocks. So when we went out there, I was only targeting largemouth bass. So and there's something about a largemouth bass when you get a big one, the ones that the eyes are just bulging out, and you got the white around. You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about? the white puffy eyeballs. But anyway, you know, so largemouth bass was one of the ones that I love to catch. You know, that's actually the species that get my heart pumping when I set hook. When I know I'm using a worm and I set hook and it feels like a truck and it feels like you're stuck, but it's not. Woo, those big bass. But yeah, I would definitely say a big largemouth bass.
All right, so obviously peacock bass, you know, that was the main thing you were known for. Mm-hmm. You started posting on Instagram and people started hitting you up for guide service and stuff like that. So you actually were putting some pretty cool people on
Yeah.
some fish. Where did YouTube come from? How did this come about?
Well, YouTube, I would have to say the best explanation that YouTube came about is when Brian said, Mike, let's upload a video on YouTube.
I just needed that in the video for my plug, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, honestly, that's the only way I can describe it. So, did I know I would have been, you know, having this many subscribers now? No.
I don't think we even
No.
imagined it would get to where it's at.
At that point, honestly, it was just, we were just posting on Instagram, guiding, making, you know, my money, and then Brian was like, let's just post our first video on YouTube. We did it, and then, you know, we got some views, it was fun. We posted another video. We got some more views. And then, you know what? We just kept filming, and it just kept growing and blowing up, and we're just looking at each other like, bro, let's keep filming. At the time, we wanted to just do it. Yeah, money was in our mind and stuff, but we didn't know like it was gonna blow up like this. And we just kept posting, having fun. That was number one. We always had fun while we were filming. No matter what we filmed, we always had fun. And
Kept it positive always.
Positive, you know, for the young generation. You know, I can turn a toy into a fishing lure, and you know, a lot of kids like, you know, my creativity, and that's what means a lot to me. It's, you know, it's, if you think about it, it's about the young generation. You want them growing up, you know, being outdoors, you know, being physical. I mean, nothing against staying home all day playing video games and stuff, but just being outdoors on the water, I just love it. And yeah,
Just want to share that with everyone else, you know?
exactly. So back to the YouTube thing, we just kept posting, having fun. It just kept growing. We didn't give up. There was bumps in between. We still didn't give up. And right now we're 1.5 million subscribers, almost 2 million, Brian.
It's
and
crazy,
it's
man.
crazy. And honestly, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys. Did you like this Angler Spotlight video? And did you know that you can be on the show as well? Brian, tell them how.
So Angler Spotlight is basically a show by anglers for anglers, and it's kind of a get to know you. If you want to be featured, I'll tell you how to submit the footage. You just got to shoot me an email. I'll put it in the link in the description below. And yeah, I look forward to featuring each and every one of you. Mike, it was a good day.
Hey, it was a good day. So guys, you know, make sure you jump over to Brian, the CEO's channel, give him a subscribe, and like he said, if you guys want to be featured, you guys like to fish out there, some of you guys catch fish that me and Brian, the CEO, never even caught before.
We wish we could catch.
You know, so if you guys want to be featured, make sure you go over to Brian, the CEO's channel, give him a subscribe.
And I've got 2 more episodes already ready to go, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any of the episodes. And guys, I appreciate all of y'all.
Woo, appreciate you guys. Hope you enjoyed this show. Brian?
Go home?
I'm hungry.
We gonna go eat.